Yeah. So lately, it's like on social media and stuff, a lot of people being more open. Like it's different lifestyles, and we find a bit different ways of love and different ways of building family and communities and business. We talk about building businesses. So it's something called like the poly lifestyle, and there's different parts of the poly lifestyle. And I want to bring our special guest to bring them in tonight to talk about their lifestyle and basically their love. So that's so. Simply, Jamie, can you bring in our next guest tonight? Our first guest tonight, actually. Hey, what's up, y'all? Hey, can you put them? There we go. There we go. Hey, here we go. How you doing? How you doing, black people? How you doing?
How you doing?
All right.
Good. Happy to have you guys. Thanks
Happy to
for
have you
coming
guys
on.
on. Yeah. First of all, since you're in Texas, everything better in Texas since it stopped snowing and everything? Everything better down there?
Yeah, just catching up now.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah.
No.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So listen, a lot of people don't understand like polyamorous, poly lifestyles, all these other things, and they confuse stuff with swinging. Can you explain the lifestyle that you guys live and the definition and the different definitions of all the other lifestyles?
So the general definition for poly is being able to love multiple people. That's the basic definition for it. Then you have other umbrellas or segments within it that kind of gets into specific dynamics. Go ahead and chime in.
So for us, we're polyamorous. There are people that identify as polyam, meaning they are more on the polygynous and polyandry side. Polygynous is a man with multiple wives. Polyandry is a woman with multiple husbands. Polyamorous is people with multiple loves. They are not necessarily looking to. They're not always nesting together, meaning they're not always living together, but they have, different relationships, separate relationships. It really just depends on your dynamic and what is discussed between you and your primary partner. My husband will be my primary partner, and I will be his primary partner.
Okay.
What is the biggest misconception people have about the lifestyle that you come across when people ask about it?
It's about sex.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And jealousy.
Yeah.
And another one would be that the man is always the focal point of the relationship. And the women, when they see that there are women who are polyandrous, they look at it like the woman is less value because she's with multiple men. So, more so like slut shame on that side. So it's a decent amount of different misconceptions. Those are that stand out to me the most.
And then also another is a lot of people just jump to a conclusion and assume that the man is bringing two women together. Where in our dynamic, my wife introduced me to poly. I had no idea, no clue what it was at all.
Okay.
Would you classify each other both as straight, gay, bi? Like what? How would you classify one another?
So me, I'm bisexual,
and I'm straight.
Okay. All right. What's dating like? What's a date like? Like date night, whatever. What does that look like?
It's a roller coaster. It's up and down because
I'm sure it is.
down. Our poly lifestyle has changed quite a bit because we're wanting a triad. We've tried open. We actually started off as swingers, just casually having sex with other women, threesomes and things like that. And then we came to a conclusion that we want something more than just sex. We want a connection with one other female. And just recently, within the past year or so, I've come to grasp with myself that I don't mind my wife dating another man. I'm confident in who I am, and I can't always make my wife happy. I can try until I'm blue in the face, but I can't be everything for my wife.
And keep in mind, it's not his responsibility to do that either. As far as making me happy, I'm responsible for my own happiness. One thing I like to tell people in polyamorous relationships is you find out what works best for your dynamic. A lot of times there are men that are, they're like, they don't want their spouse messing with another man. It has, and this one of the other misconceptions is that we're not enough for each other, and that's not the truth. I feel personally, this is my personal opinion, that people assume that you find this one person and they're going to be everything you need. But when you realize that you've been with somebody for, 10 plus years, you look at it like, hold on, we don't necessarily like the same things. And then you find like other people that do, my husband isn't really big on nature, but there is a guy that I'm currently talking to who is. And my husband will go on nature walks with me with no problem. It's not nothing that he's excited about. And vice versa. He can tell you things that I don't necessarily enjoy doing with him. Or I'm not I'm not the party girl or anything like that. But I can go out and party with him, if that makes sense. Like, people assume that basically, oh, you guys aren't fulfilling other's needs, that's why y'all are looking for somebody else. But that's not, we're just fully being ourselves without the restrictions.
So do the person that's involved in your life, the other woman, does she live with you guys or live close or in different cities? How does it work?
So my wife is actually dating another woman, she's actually dating another woman, and she's a travel nurse, so she's traveling between Illinois and Atlanta.
Okay.
And the person that I am courting or vetting, she is here in Houston. So it just varies.
You said courting or vetting. So you have another person that you are interested in,
Correct.
and you're vetting her and deciding whether or not you can bring that person into your relationship. All right. Do you make the decision, or does she? How do you make that decision? Like, how does that happen? So it's all strictly on Tagore. Okay.
Yes, because that would be my
For
relationship.
him, yeah.
Our relationship is different. Like, for instance, the guy that she's courting or vetting, we would not all have a relationship together. That's their relationship.
Okay.
They will have a friendship. That's about it.
Like, most women would like to call it a bromance or anything, but to me, it's just a friendship.
So you basically kind of keep your individual relationships separate from your marriage.
Well, at least in the beginning,
yes.
It's so it's so we can get to know. We let the person know automatically, like, what we're looking for. I feel like that's important. Transparency is very important. Let somebody know exactly what it is that you're looking for. I mean, I'm not going to spill everything out in the first, session of, but I do let people know that I'm polyamorous and I'm married. Those are two things that I do lead with when I'm communicating with somebody that's, of course, attractive to me or is flirting with me. And we have that communication where we know if this is just too much, meaning we're at saturation with, as far as, and just being saturated in poly life just means you're at your limit on partners. So for me, I am talking. I say talking. We use different words. Like, you'll hear people say courting, vetting, and things like that. Courting and vetting is literally the same thing. You're just getting to know someone. Well, you can even say dating, but some people are very picky about certain words that they use. Me, I'm personally like, I'm just talking to someone right now because I don't know where this is going to go. I'm not serious about this person, but I enjoy the connection that we have as far as the conversation, the things that we do have in common with each other. And, that's about it. Now, the woman that I am dating that is serious, she is a travel nurse. So me and her, she actually was just calling me. So me and her actually, keep in communication. We have to keep things fresh because we are long distance. But we'll have Zoom calls with each other, or FaceTime, really, because we both have iPhone. And we do little nail dates. We'll plan to go, stuff like that. We do things together, but I also get to see her too, like when we plan to come together. That's my serious relationship outside of him, because I consider her a long distance wife. She once was in a triad with us, but that did not work out, and now it's just me and her.
All right. So would you guys ever had a third party living with you guys?
Yes. Her current wife was we had a triad and we all lived under the same roof.
Okay.
And in certain states like Utah, right, people can get married to multiple people. I'm not sure if that's true.
That's not really
that's
legal.
illegal.
That's illegal. I know. Yeah, because I know Brother Polite. I don't know if you guys know this guy named Brother Polite on social media. So Brother Polite has contracts with all his women and stuff like that. Would you guys think about having contracts with other people? If you guys did?
If I would say yes, because it's very similar to being married, but I'd have to invest some time first to make sure I'm doing the right thing. Just like I did with before I married my wife. We engaged, and after we got engaged, it was about 3 years till we actually got married because I wanted to make sure this is the right thing I'm doing.
And a date.
Yeah, that too.
Derek,
there was a question I just wanted to put back up if we can find it from Nikisha. She wants to know, there it is. Why get married and be in a poly relationship in your opinion? Why would you, what decide what was the thing that made you say we're gonna get married and be in a poly relationship?
Go ahead.
So that's the question. That's very common. So this is the thing. Polyamorous people it doesn't mean that we don't want commitment. To be honest with you, it would be nice if it wasn't a law that we can only marry one person. I call her my wife because I literally consider her my wife. It's just illegal for me to marry her because I'm already married. Just because we got married does not mean we cannot be polyamorous. You have some people where that question comes from. I personally feel like that question comes from people assuming that, marriage is just for two people and you guys are supposed to be everything to each other and you're not supposed to want anything outside of that. That is the traditional monogamous way, and technically monogamy is not really traditional.
No, it's not.
Hey, shit, monogamy hasn't been working out. A lot of divorces. That's another subject. That's just another subject.
Divorce is like 60%.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question.
I'm a person that been divorced.
You said something about commitment too. What is commitment? How do you define commitment? Because I heard that you said that most people think that you're not into commitment. So how is it that you can be married, all right, but then be outside of that, but still think of yourself as a committed person?
So it really just depends on what you look at commitment as. Like, everybody doesn't look at marriage the same way. We are committed to each other because we knew that we wanted to be together for the rest of our lives. And we have been together. We've known each other for 10 years, been together for 8 years, and been married for 5. We just hit our anniversary this
2
past,
days ago.
2 days ago.
Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Black love now.
What I mean by commitment is more than just, I'm not committed to him just sexually. I'm committed to him and just who he is for who he is. And that's vice versa for my wife. I'm committed to her. I'm not out here, messing with this guy, this girl, this person, just without not necessarily consent, but without communicating that with them. I'm not looking for, just a free for all, because that's what a lot of people think polyamorous relationships are. I'm looking for just those connections. For me, I would be saturated at 4. And what I mean by 4 is he would have his spouse, girlfriend, and I would have mine off to the side. If it can come together, that's awesome. And what I mean by coming together is if we were all able to, at least come to a kitchen table, because they call that kitchen table poly. Come to a kitchen table together, be able to, communicate, have fun, go out with each other, see each other as friends, and have that commitment to each other, if that makes sense. It sounds
like that's the level at which
you like to stop at 4. If you say you like to stop at 4, what if he'd like to stop at 8? Is that okay?
That's him.
That's something we have to discuss.
Yo,
my number is lower than hers.
Yo, I'm gonna give you some advice. You need some watermelon rum and some pumpkin seeds.
and I got a stash of blue pills. Somebody,
so you can get it popping, brother.
But no, somebody asked the question real quick. They asked, so there's never any type of there's never any type of jealousy.
Oh, it's definitely jealousy.
How do you handle that?
That's a normal human.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how do you handle that? How does that go down?
The way I handle my jealousy is It's just how you act when you get jealous, or what do you do when you get jealous? When I get jealous, I tend to get crafty as far as with my artwork. I take my mind away from whatever my jealousy is, and then I will touch on it on a later basis, or I'll let them know, hey, I was kind of feeling this way about this or such and such. It's more of a communication thing, but I don't let my jealousy. I don't act out of jealousy, I should say.
But what are you jealous of?
It's crazy that I could say this, but I don't get jealous with her going and dating other men. It's more so women because they have a better connection than I could have with my wife.
And I say this about jealousy, like one of you guys already said, it is a normal emotion. It's a human.
Yeah.
It's really just about how you deal with it. For me, it's process how I'm feeling, and this is the thing with just humans in general. This is not people. You have people that need to do shadow work within themselves because they just push their emotions off on other people because they're feeling it at their moment. So like a woman, if she's mad at her man for doing something, she's showing him that in an aggressive way. That's you showing your emotion instead of analyzing your emotion and possibly communicating about it at a later date, not actually putting that off, because energy is everything. You're putting that energy off on somebody that didn't even
Well, you know what I'd like to know, because as your husband said, you introduced him to this lifestyle. So first of all, I'd like to know, how did you get introduced to the lifestyle? And then I would like to know a little bit about, and I'm talking about you and not your husband. So your background, were you into monogamy at one point and then changed to this, or was this something that you were just raised around?
Oh, they laughed. This is about to be good.
So for me, I think he laughed because he hear me say it a lot.
Yeah, I hear this story quite often now.
So for me, it was okay. Growing up, I did grow up Christian. You know, that was our religion. My mama had me in the church, all that. Grandma did. They all even worked in the church. But I will say this: I feel like my family are, in a sense, what some real Christians will call hypocrites, because they never judged me for just being different. When I was like 16, I told my mom and them, I was like, I like girls. You know, I just came out. I was like, I like girls. And
you're the reason why I love church girls.
Kelvin,
give me a preacher's
daughter.
Give me a preacher's daughter. Give me a preacher's daughter any day.
Okay, so basically, your preference as far as sexuality was girls initially before men completely. So it was just you liked girls. Okay, you were not attracted to guys. It was girls.
No, and that was the thing. My mom was like I liked guys, but I was always weird around them. It was like really hard for me just to be myself around a guy. And I actually got pregnant at a young age by the first guy that I was with. And it was awkward. It was really awkward. And I didn't really I was young. I didn't understand the connection between a man and a woman, but I knew that when I was with females, I just felt comfortable. I felt free. And I had communicated this with my mom. When I say my mom is she's my rock. She's my everything. She never shunned me or anything. And I really it chokes me up a little bit thinking about it, because I know people that have went the total opposite way with their family. So my mom made me feel comfortable, and she, she never made me feel like it was just weird. She was like, baby, maybe that's what you like, but whatever you decide to do when you get older, make that decision. She was always like, make that decision when you get older. You know what I'm saying? And because you might not just be about females. And as I got older, I realized I did like guys. I liked the way that they looked. I just like the way that they looked. And I was like, okay. And my sister, she used to mess with me. She was like, you just greedy. She's like, you know what you want. I heard that a lot too. And I was like, no, I think I just like both. And then I just started really identifying myself as bisexual and biromantic, meaning that I am not just sexually attracted to the same sex. I'm also romantically attracted to the same sex.
So now, when you met your husband, was this something early on, or did you find this out later?
He was like, so I knew that I liked guys when I met him. And it was just like, I had been with more women though. So I really didn't know how to navigate that space. Luckily, this young cocky guy, he kind of broke my shell, you know, and was like, he really.
Maybe that's called pimp juice. That's called pimp juice.
Yeah, that's
that man,
pimping.
that man's popping his collar on you.
There you go. There you go, young pimp.
He, like, and what was so crazy? Oops.
Uh-oh, they popping off? Oh.
You guys see? Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
He basically made me feel comfortable around him. He tells me this all the time. He was like, I knew you before you even paid attention to me. And I genuinely, I was like, okay. So when he did come around and I started getting more comfortable around him, it was easy for me to just be myself. He never really cared that I liked females, and he didn't exploit it, I should say. He didn't exploit it. Meaning, like, I had ran into most guys, they heard me sound like females, they automatically jump to threesomes. And I'm like,
yeah.
But
That's
anyway.
interesting.
Yeah.
I used to be like that long time ago.
Long time ago.
I had my time.
To sum that up, I told him, I was like, you know, hey, it would be nice if I could date a female, you know, as well. And he was like, without me, you know, because he was like, damn, that means all your attention go to somebody else. So he really wasn't feeling it at first. And I had told him, I was just like, you know, babe, I really crave the attention from a female. And then we got to talking, you know, that was a discussion for probably like within the first year of our relationship. And it was kind of just like, okay, well, he was like, are you sure is it just sex? That's why we kind of started out as swingers. And I'm like, okay, maybe I didn't really want to tell him it was more than just sex. And then I finally had to, because I was like, I'm not finna keep just, you know, just going through females and stuff like that. And I not fell in love, but I really liked one a whole lot. And I decided, I'm like, hey, babe, can we see if it'll work where, you know, she moves in with us? And
you know what it sounds like? It sounds like you couldn't live the monogamous life with him alone, but he could do it with you, it seems like. Is that fair to say?
Yes, it definitely started as that. Yes.
But you if she tomorrow said it's just you and I, you could live with that.
Where I'm at now, no.
Now you couldn't. Okay.
In the past, yes, because I came from a monogamous household. My dad and my stepmom, and even prior to that, I've always watched my grandparents married. It's a bond between two people. I didn't know anything about polygamy.
That girl got you open, boy. Ain't nothing bad. Just have a little jokes with y'all, but ain't nothing bad. Nah, but I understand. You change. People change. You change.
Thank you for being so open about that.
I want to ask you a question, Karen. No, go ahead. Finish first.
I was just saying, like, I pretty much grew into who I am now. I didn't know who I was until, I'm not gonna say until I met her, but she helped me learn who I am.
Okay. The question I want to ask you is, how does your friends and how does your family respond to your lifestyle? No, his family.
Oh, his.
My mom.
Yeah. So your friends and family. Yeah, you.
So for me, family, only person I can say that they didn't give me any problem or anything. My dad cracked a lot of jokes because I'm
sure he did.
He's never been poly, but he's dealt with plenty of women at once. And he was like, he told me it's gonna lead me to an early grave. He said I'm gonna be stressed out. It's gonna be a lot of jealousy, and he told us that we weren't gonna work out because of it. But
don't forget your siblings. They didn't.
My siblings on my dad's side, because I have my mom had 8 kids, my dad had 5. They were never together. But on my father's side, my siblings were not for it because I'm the baby. Okay. It was protecting, like, this not for you. You're doing this wrong. But on my mom's side, they're like, live your life. Go do what you want. And then also, like, with all the siblings I had, I was kind of off to myself.
His friends thought he was a pimp.
Yeah, definitely. And I cut friends off because of that, because I tried to explain it to them and tried to, give them knowledge and information behind it, but steady calling me a pimp and disrespecting the person I love, I cut them off.
The goal was to know, can you see yourself in this lifestyle 15 years from now?
Definitely.
Okay, so this is going nowhere. This is how these guys are, and that's what it is.
I'm hoping within 10, 15 years, it's like the LGBT movement. Like it's in your face.
We're going to get some signatures together, a petition together. We should be able to marry more than one person.
Yes, definitely.
Be like other countries and stuff like that.
Yo, that alimony would be crazy.
Man, don't you ever get divorced.
Yeah, that alimony would be crazy.
You gotta do a prenup. Gotta get a prenup.
Yeah, I believe in prenups.
So let me ask you a question. Like you said, you have a child. Do you guys have children together?
No.
So if y'all did have children, how would you explain it to the children? And my other part to the question: if you have another wife, would it be cool for him to have children with another woman and y'all raise the kids together?
So I have one child.
Mm.
He is 14. He will be 15 this year. When I met him, when we started dating, I should say, because I always say when I
met her a year before she even realized who I was.
Mm.
I was a bit. Remember, I told you I was awkward around guys. I would never pay attention because he was my brother's friend. So I'm like not paying attention to him like that. But my son was 5 when we got together. So in my child's, I'm not gonna call him that on live. The person who helped me create him is not part of his life, and wonderful man became that figure for our son. So biologically, no, we do not have any kids together, but he considers my son his son, so it's our son. He has seen mom and dad navigate through this lifestyle. I always tell people, make sure you're answering the questions appropriate towards their age. Kids ask questions, they do. But they also need to be in healthy environments. They can't be, you can be in an unhealthy environment. You can have an unhealthy environment around your child in a monogamous relationship. A lot of people assume that we have, so many people, around our kid, and that's not the case. It actually takes a lot for somebody to even meet my child. And if they do so happen, like if we're like on an outing or something like that, and I have my kid with me, it would have been more like, like in public or something active that they wouldn't even pay attention to, the NRE, which is the that new relationship energy between me and someone. I always made it a point not to have somebody around my kid until I knew that it was serious. And what I mean by serious is that me and him have already discussed, and this is okay. Now, as far as the questions that my son had, it was just as simple as, sitting down, answering them for him. I don't sugarcoat anything. I feel like people underestimate children and think that they need a soft side to a story. I'm not out here telling him that we're, I'm not vulgar with the conversation. I make it age appropriate, so he's watched mom and dad navigate through this space, and he feels that it is normal, and that, we just love multiple people. He has so much love around him outside of my family. My long distance wife, she genuinely loves him to pieces, and the bond between them was amazing watching it happen. It's a lot of people just think, they be scared of what their kid is gonna think, but your kid just want to see you happy. Like seriously, your kid see you happy and healthy.
So, how would y'all handle? The kids your son ever get teased at school, and has it ever come up, anything like that?
He's actually talked to me about it. He didn't get teased, but back when we lived in Illinois, it was one of his friends that asked about his dad having 2 girlfriends, and I had to explain it. Kind of just sit down and talk to him like, this isn't your typical relationship that you'll see every day. A lot of people are monogamous, which means it's a couple. It's a man and a woman, or a woman and woman, or a man and man. There's no more than 2. So we just had that conversation. He was a lot younger then, but with him being younger, it's easy for me to explain it to him because I didn't have to get into detail about it. So it worked out pretty smoothly.
And I tell people a lot of times, it's like, there's kids that have 2 moms, there's kids that have 2 dads, they're going to school and they're like, oh snap, you got 2 dads, and kids can be cruel, but honestly, kids more so talk about the way that the kid come to school dressed or smell or something like that. It's not much. It's not like, I'm out here with OnlyFans and they mama telling talking about me around the house or anything like that. Because I know kids can be cruel, but honestly, their kids aren't at the school talking about some, hey, you got 2 mamas, you got 2 dads. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But think about most kids nowadays do, like you said, you got stepfather and the real father. So most stepmom and the biological. So most kids are growing up with 4 parents nowadays. So it's like the norm. So I think you guys are onto something. Like I think this might just become the norm, and people are starting to open their minds up to a little bit different things. So.
And then you asked the question about is he allowed to have kids by another woman? I don't allow him to do anything because this man is a free thinker. I don't really care for the word allow, but if he wants to, yes. Like,
and where I'm at right now, no. Our son is 15. He's almost out the house.
Right. Right.
Hey, what's your address? I'm coming over to those parties.
Got another kid. I don't want to start all over, but if I did get in a relationship with another woman and she had kids, that would not be a disclaimer for me. It just depends on how many kids and how much I care for her.
So listen, I want to thank you guys for coming on. But I know you guys have a business, and I know a lot of things. Like a lot of poly relationships, they always have businesses together. Like the couples get together, they build stuff together. So, what business do you guys have, and how can they find your business?
So I support my lovely wife right here because I kind of put my business on the back burner because hers is thriving, and I love it.
Put your business on the back burner.
I won't say I put it on the back burner, but I turn my focus towards hers because she's very passionate about it, and she's teaching me. She's a very spiritual person. I grew up Catholic, Baptist, Christian, a little bit of everything, but now I'm spiritual. I don't necessarily believe in a religion per se. I do believe there's a higher being, but so with that being said, her business is called Love Smudge.
I can see it going across the screen. Basically, I started this business a couple of years ago now. It is spiritual based. Even if you go to my website, I make this joke all the time because I did grow up in a Christian environment. But I make this joke all the time. My website makes religious people uncomfortable. It's just a joke because I do have religious people that be on my website ordering from me. But I make intention pyramids is one of my #1 sellers in my personalized gift boxes, which just contain a lot of spiritual products, ranging from crystals, candles, and all of this is handmade. It's either jewelry, or I do when it comes to the intention, it would be something like this, like these.
Okay. That's nice.
Or these, and they all have crystals in them, and they all are targeted to different meanings. A lot of them are the crystals that I normally work with are for protection, prosperity, and just bringing that positive protective energy in your home. It's like a lot of people would be so confused or just put off by spirituality. I'm not working with dark beings. You know what I'm saying? I'm not out here,
there's no voodoo,
putting spells on people. There's nothing wrong with voodoo, though.
And nothing wrong with voodoo. I'm about to say that. Thank you, sister.
I don't have
the original black religion. That's another subject, Kelvin. We ain't gonna go into that.
I'm saying I'm just not initiated into voodoo practices, so I don't do that. I don't have a problem with it. It's amazing because I have friends that's like that. But what I do is basically just create cleansing and protective items and products for people. I do have services that I offer as far as mentoring for people who are starting out their spiritual journey, because I've been spiritual, known that this was my path for the last 6 years, but it was on and off because I never had anybody that looked like me, to teach me these things until I started getting older and realizing that this, African spirituality was even a thing. And I just started finding that community of people, and it inspired me to, do things that I was doing on a regular basis as far as creating smudge bundles, because that's where my business started. Smudge bundles are cleansing sages, like sage and lavender and things like that. I started creating them for myself, and then I would post them, and people would be like, you should sell these. And I found a joy in doing that and crafting. So that's where my business started from. Now it's at a point where it's doing really good. I'm super proud of myself. Y'all, I did not expect for it to go as well as it has within this last year. And something else I always tell people, when it comes to you starting your own business, no matter what the idea is, just put your all into it. I was going through a separation when I started my business. And a lot of people didn't know that. You know, my business literally got me through some hard times. I knew that that was my purpose, and I just kept pushing forward with it. And now I'm going on year 2, and it just gets better every year. I really now, as far as him, I would say he got his own stuff going on. Like
I definitely do. I'm gonna touch base on it, but her business has been so successful that she was able to quit her full-time 9 to 5.
That's what's up.
Wow, that's what's up.
Your own boss, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. Entrepreneurship.
And listen, do you have anything that can give me 2 wives? Any kind of herbs, any kind of crystals that give me 2 wives?
Yeah.
Nah. Listen,
you want that?
Yeah.
That's a lot of responsibility. That's a lot of responsibility.
The business that I put on the back burner, I didn't really put it on the back burner. It's just I have to work on my credit so I can get the loan that I want, not the one that they want to give me. I want to open my food truck up again here in Houston, because in Illinois it's pretty good, but here in Houston it's a great market. I'm a very great chef. I have 6 years of culinary arts under my belt. I have 2 state championships for culinary art and cooking, art designing. So that's my passion. I absolutely love to cook.
That's what's up, man.
That's what's up.
Listen, I'm coming to the party. I'm getting a plate, and I'm getting some crystals, and I'm getting me a second wife. So listen. Thank you for coming on, guys. I love you guys. I follow you. You know, I follow you guys on Instagram. I love what you do. I love how you surround each other with love, and that's the main thing people understand. Like, these 2 people really do genuinely love each other, and they love the people that's around them that they bring into their lives. So I commend you guys for being so honest, so truthful, and living in your truth. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thanks for having us.
Have a great night. Thank you.
And thanks for having the courage to come on and opening up your life like that. It takes a lot of courage to do that.
This is what you really do. You don't really care what people say.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Amen to that.
I live by that myself. I don't care what people say.
Thank you. That's that for sure.
All right, y'all. Peace, y'all. Be safe out there.
Good night. Take care.
Have a good night.
All right.
Peace. Oh, I'm in the middle this time.
Wow.
Nah, that was a good segment. That was a great guest, man. I mean, the honesty.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to the courage to come on and talk about stuff like that. That's what's up. That is.
Lisa said, "Don't sell your presents to a white person."
The
story is,
not to get a little more equity.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah, right. And also, Lisa said, there wouldn't nobody be going for alimony because everybody be happy. I saw that. Somebody they were talking. I couldn't get into it. At least I saw that shit was funny. That was funny. So, what do you guys think? What's your feedback? What's your thoughts on the last guest tonight?
I mean,
I'm scared.
Yeah, it was eye-opening. I thought, maybe it was the, freak of the week business, man. I don't know, but apparently, it's a relationship. He comes in and brings something to the table, and that's I think it's about the agreement or the contract of the relationship. You know what I mean? They have their structure to it. It's just not just whatever, So I don't know. I don't pass judgment on it personally. I don't want any more. I got one woman, and that's enough for me to handle, because that's a lot of responsibility. You know what I mean? But if you're up for it, you game for it, whatever floats your boat, man. Take care of yourself.
Yeah, I'm kind of agreeing with Derek. I mean, I couldn't even imagine if I came to my wife with something like that. I probably would look like Martin Lawrence when he fought Tommy Hearns, when he put all those lumps on his head. Nah, but that's definitely not for everybody. You know what I'm saying? I give him a lot of credit. You know what I'm saying? But hey, if it works for you, it works for you. But I could definitely say it ain't going to work for everybody.
It won't work for me.
I think it was very, very telling, some things that she mentioned about how she started, and then the fact that he wasn't really into it, and he kind of got kind of converted and immersed in it. I think it's very interesting. I do think it's easier to do that than it is a traditional relationship. And the reason I think it's easier because it just allows, like, for instance, like in a traditional relationship, the person would say, well, I'll make a sacrifice to get into nature or whatever like that. This just says, okay, if you're not there, I get somebody to supply this need or that need or that need. So I think you have a lot more flexibility, you know. And then the other thing is that's interesting that it's capped at 4, you know, and so it's a concept of openness, but it's still has its restrictions also.
That sounded like a arbitrary number to me, though.
Was that question for me? That question before?
Which one?
Yeah. What if your wife came with that? Came to me with that.
With that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hey, listen, man. I love my girlfriends. I had girlfriends back in the day, long time ago, long time.
Well, I mean, I
thoroughly enjoyed that time.
I don't know. I guess I got to get asked the question when it's asked.
Hey, I think
I
might have tried it when I was younger.
Yeah,
It didn't work out.
I'm old now. I didn't have to, like I said, I got to live with a watermelon next to my nightstand all night. You know what I'm saying? With all those women in the house, I have like 5, 6, 7 women in the house.
Listen, that's what I said. It's a lot of responsibility.
A lot of responsibility. They be like, why are you so tired all the time?
My problem be, when can I get to the bathroom? So many women in the house.
Yeah.
A whole extra person.
And you know something? And I'll be opening up all the pipes under the sinks with all that hair in the sink that women put in the hair. You know, I deal with that now. Now I have even more.
And all the toilet tissue be gone.
That's what your friends for.
I be thinking they eat toilet tissue in my house.
Yo, listen, women take toilet tissue off the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, and wipe a little bit on. I was like, come on.
Yeah.
All that toilet paper, man. Seriously, man.